everybody, and welcome back to the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we've got a fun show for you guys. We're gonna be talking about Kino Lorber and our boutique Blu-ray label show. So basically, on this show, I want to showcase a boutique label, and the first one I chose was Criterion, which is the one I've got the most of, and this is my second one I got the most of, which is Kino Lorber. All the rest, I think Arrow's my next one, maybe, and then Vinegar Syndrome or Scream Factory, one of those, and then after then, I don't really have that as many for a lot of them, and so I don't even think I'll have 10 for a lot of these things. So we'll see. Maybe I will. I might have 10 for a couple of them. But all right. Well, here we go. We're gonna be talking about uh Kino Lorber and my love for them. So Kino Lorber is a boutique label. They's more specialized in really good movies as well as movies that are a little bit more obscure, harder to find and stuff. One I'm not going to showcase on here, which I forgot to grab anyway, but is the Night Gallery. I've got the first season of Night Gallery, so they do television series as well. Some of the more obscure ones are harder to find, the ones that the studios and the television studios are not putting out onto anything. So they put it out to Kino Lorber, and somehow Kino Lorber gets it going, and there you go. So the first stuff I want to talk about is I'm going to talk about each one of these that I picked. I picked 10 movies, 5 Blu-rays, and 5 4Ks. And I'm going to give an example of things of what you can expect from them and what you can sort of, what sort of works for them as a company. So first off, let me do this one. Let me put it down here. Well, um, wow, outtakes galore tonight. Um, okay, we're back in business. All right. So first off is Stone Cold. So this isn't a very good movie, by the way. This is pretty bad. And you're gonna notice it kind of gets bad to good, and then uh I don't think 4Ks. I don't think there might be one or two that won't be considered like great, but I consider them great. So Stone Cold, I consider fantastic. We did it for Indie Film Cafe, even though it's not a indie movie, it's a mainstream Hollywood movie done by who put it out? I think like Paramount or something. It says Stone Group Pictures, but there was some big name there. In front of it. So Universal, somebody. Um, but anyway, if you notice, so you can see this is the slip cover. So there's also sometimes the reversible one where you get, and I always like to do that. I don't know if you guys do. When you have a slip cover, and you have a reversible thing for this, you can actually put the reversed image in there. And so you have both images there for there. And I like it. This is such a silly, over the top, rip off of Cobra, and movies like that. But it's got audio commentary by action film historians Mike Leader and Arn Venema. The Boz Goes Hollywood, an interview with star Brian Bosworth. The Brotherhood, interview with actor Lance Henriksen. Breaking Free, interview with actress Arabella Holzberg. And Playing Straight, interview with actor Sam McMurray. And then they also got theatrical trailers and TV spots. So for a silly B movie like this, which in my opinion is a B movie, uh, even though it's a big budget B movie, it is so silly, over the top, and goofy and fun, and it's done by Kino Lorber. I mean, they have, as you see, they have the thing here, the slipcover, but also on the side it will say Kino Lorber. They are not numbered really. So this isn't a number or anything. And I really don't have a lot of their other like lines. Like I've got Code Red, which I think is Kino Lorber, but I don't have Um, I don't have a lot of other ones, a lot of other options. So, all right, next up to show off is moving violations. I am a huge Police Academy fan, so when I found out that this was available, so I could buy this, I got really excited. There is no slipcase for any of these rest of these Blu-rays, but I'm just showing you like Neil Israel did this. He's the director of I think he directed or co-wrote Police Academy. And so this is sort of like they tried to do Police Academy and Traffic School. And Pat Proft, I believe, co-wrote it with Neil Israel, and those are guys who did do Police Academy, and so they really tried to bring that back, and it didn't really work. But it honestly, this is a really funny movie. I had a blast with it. It felt like something I would have watched like alongside Police Academy. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch this movie or buy it or whatever, I definitely highly recommend it. This movie is a movie that Paul told me about. So okay, so I showed you two sort of not one pretty bad movie and one should have been better but wasn't as good and didn't get the legacy that the other movies did. And then there's this, The Warlord. Paul introduced me to this movie and I absolutely loved it. Charlton Heston is amazing. Richard Boone's in it. I mean, it's got a audio commentary by film historian and critic Sergio Mims. We listened to that commentary. It's kind of dry, a little bit dry, but I might want to re-listen to it at some point. I think I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was working on my DVD collection or yeah, DVD collection at the time at the studio, but we kind of just put it on after we watched the movie and it was pretty cool. We watched this movie at the studio because we reviewed it for Film Freaks and he just absolutely loves this movie. Got me into it, and I bought it as well, and I really liked it too. So it's one of those movies that I definitely recommend if you are into like knight type stuff, like medieval type stuff or whatever. But it's not your typical medieval stuff. It's got warriors, and it's got it's directed by Franklin Schaffner. It's got a knight. He's got knights. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty. It's fun. Isn't it? Now this movie I absolutely love and adore. I had it on DVD for the longest time, and then when I saw that it was on Kino, when I was buying all these Kinos, I got it, and that's Man on the Moon, starring Jim Carrey. Uh, the thing is, it does have like everything that was on the DVD, so I don't think there's like any new special features. Sometimes Kino Lorber will put new special features, but they'll always put like new on there, so it's a new thing, and there's nothing new on here. But there's audio commentary by screenwriter Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski, who also did one of well, not one of my favorite film of all time, Ed Wood. Um, and they're really good at biopics, to be honest, like Man on the Moon and Ed Wood and stuff like that. They need to do more of those and pick some people who are sort of not as well known. But it's moderated by film historian Howard S. Berger. This might be a story. Screenwriters Scott Alexander and Larry, in conversation with Milos Forman about how it all came to be. Spotlight on location, the making of Man on the Moon. I remember seeing that, and that was really good. REM music video and for Man on the Moon and The Great Beyond, as well as the theatrical trailer. So like I said, when sometimes they pack these things, like I mean, that's a packed special features section. So well worth it for that. And last of my Blu-rays, a movie that I hunted down because I wanted it originally. I got it originally from the Masters of Cinema collection. I thought I could watch anything, including Region B movies, on my 4K player. Unfortunately, it's they don't allow Region B locked, ones. So if it's Region B locked, I will not be able to do it. But now all 4Ks are just region free. So I think I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think I read. So If that's true, then because I've used every one that's been like from another region that I've gotten that are 4K, I've been able to play. But this one is The Lost Weekend, starring Ray Milland and Jane Wyman. It is uh basically this movie, if you haven't seen it, is about a man who's suffering from the bouts of alcoholism, and he is struggling very much with just he's supposed to go on a vacation, right? And they said the only way they would take him on vacation is you know family or whatever was be if he didn't drink at all. And so he didn't want that. He would rather not go on vacation and be sober than go on, than drink. And so he wanted to drink. So he kind of skips all of that and he goes on this long weekend. It's called the Lost Weekend. But it basically he goes on this weekend where he's just, struggling with his alcoholism and he knows he should quit and he goes to the bar. The bartender's kind of sick of him and all this stuff. And it's just if you know anybody who's struggling with alcoholism, I've been in recovery for years, for 11 years and stuff. And I absolutely eh, this did this didn't trigger me, but like if you're to new to this stuff, new to sobriety, do not watch this movie at all. This movie will trigger you and you will probably want to go drink. Didn't trigger me because nothing, no alcohol movies ever trigger me because I just know in my heart that they're a movie. Like I'm a filmmaker. I know that the stuff that they're drinking is usually water or iced tea or something, It's not alcohol. Now, Beer Fest might trigger me because I've heard the one of the writers said that an actor, Steve Lemmy, actually did say on my radio show that they did use a lot of real alcohol and stuff and drank a lot of it. Uh, I guess that's the beauty of being able to make whatever movie you want to make. But no, this movie, I'm pretty sure that everything's fake, and because that would be a disaster to get a guy drunk on the set. Um, it's got audio commentary by film historian Joseph McBride, which I definitely want to take a look at. That's the one thing I want to talk about at some point. Talk about commentary and how it's a lost art these days. Special features, period. A lot of movies are very bare bones and don't do anything, and it's kind of sad. Like that's the one thing I buy movies for originally was because I wanted to listen to people talk about the making of the movie. Sometimes it's a funny talk, sometimes it's a serious, like almost like a film school. And so I really would like to take a look and listen to this at some point. It's got a radio adaptation from it. And trailers from Hell, I think that was Joe Dante's show with Mark Pellington and theatrical trailer for it. So it's directed by Billy Wilder, from a screenplay by Charles Brackett, and Billy Wilder. Um, I believe Charles Brackett had something to do with his name. I think his name was in Halloween, and John Carpenter liked him or something and used the name Brackett. I don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But that's what I think. I very much could be wrong, so definitely don't quote me on that. Uh, I just I kind of want to check this out and see what uh again see the commentary. Well, I've never listened to the commentary, but would love to. All right, so we're getting to the bottom of the barrel here, and I did not put this in order. I should have. All right. So here we go. And we're gonna get into it. So the first movie up on the 4Ks is The Monster Squad. And The Monster Squad is this movie I used to watch all the time as growing up, and I absolutely loved it. And I I love I interviewed a couple people from Monster Squad. I interviewed the brother and the sister separately. And I absolutely love it. I think I'm friends with on Facebook the somebody from this thing, if I'm correct. But anyway, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious, and it was great to see sort of all the stuff. And it's got okay, so let me get into this. So a lot of times they do this. So first of all, they always say it's like it's got the movie and the Blu-ray to it, the 4K and the Blu-ray. And so here we go. The first one's the Blu-ray or the 4K. Next is the Blu-ray right there. And then last but not least, they have a third disc, which is Wolfman's Got Nards, the 2018 documentary co-written and directed by actor Andre Gower. The one I told you I met. So, audio commentary by Fred Decker and cinematographer Bradford May. Audio commentary by director Fred Decker and actors Andre Gower, Ryan Lambert, and Ashley Bank. Ashley Bank was the girl I also met and interviewed and stuff. Monster Squad Forever documentary, conversation with Frankenstein, archival piece with Tom Noonan. Tom Noonan is great as Frankenstein. He was also great in Last Action Hero and a few other movies that he's been in. Animated storyboard sequence and deleted scenes and stills gallery. So this is not a movie that would typically get picked up by a lot of movies for a 4K, in my opinion. Uh, it should. And the Wolfman's Got Nards is as awesome as a bonus, you know. I don't I don't think I even remembered like that being a thing when I first picked it up until I got it home and I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, it's got a whole disc just for that. So that's awesome. All right. So after that is another movie like I'm surprised it's in Kino because but it's sort of where they're going now. And it is Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Um, so now they are doing a lot of big time, big action movies, Hollywood action movies, for Kino. And so you get the like smaller movies, but you'd also get these really big, uh, Hollywood films. And I think I'm not sure exactly if they just if the people who put it out just know that there's the audience for Kino Lorber that's going to buy it, or if it's just that they, want to kind of expand and do something different, or maybe it's a mixture of both. But they want to do something different than your typical, um, you know, uh, Kino Lorber's thing. So for their 4Ks, they've been putting this out. They put like Blown Away, Turbulence, things like that, where I'm like kind of a little bit surprised, but I'm happy. I'm happy for it. So happy it's out. On this, they have audio commentary by director John Woo and writers Mike Werb and Michael Kaleri. Audio commentary by action film historians Mike Leader and Arn Venema. Audio commentary by writers Mike Werb and Michael Kaleri, I guess just by themselves. 7 deleted scenes with the optional audio commentary Woo, Werb, and Kaleri. The Light in the Dark, the making of Face Off, John Woo, A Life in Pictures, and that's it. Um, but that's in a theatrical trailer, but that's a lot. I mean, I see that's it, but that's a lot. I mean, and especially for a 4K and all that stuff. Oh, it's great. Thank you, Kino Lorber. Another movie I had the slipcover for and I lost it, which is The Apartment. If you have not seen this movie, it is incredible. Once again, another Billy Wilder movie. I'm a huge fan of Billy Wilder. I had the book Conversations with Wilder. It was a Cameron Crowe book. I want to get that again because I don't have it anymore. And it's definitely one of those ones like Hitchcock Truffaut that I really, really love. By the way, there are in this list of movies, there aren't any Hitchcock movies, but uh they have released a few Hitchcock. My favorite being Lifeboat. So if you haven't seen that, go buy that on don't even watch it, just go buy it and then watch it. So Apartment, Billy Wilder. Basically, it's interesting because it's like a sex comedy from the what is it, 1960s sex comedy. Basically, Jack Lemmon plays this guy who, uh, as a business, to well, sort of business slash like he wants to move up in ranks for his job. So he lets his bosses come into his apartment and use his apartment to cheat on their significant others. So he's just, kind of using it as his own little bachelor pad. They can go in for a while, then they leave, and then he comes back to his house and takes over, or whatever after they've gone. Um, and, like he like leaves for like 2 3 hours, whatever it is, and lets people come in, use his key and do whatever they want. As long as they clean up, I guess, and everything, he doesn't care. Then he meets Shirley MacLaine. He kind of falls in love with her. But she's dating Fred McMurray. Fred McMurray is his newest boss, the biggest boss. It's the one he's trying to, it's almost like a video game. He's trying to get to the top, and he gets to the top, and the guy wants to use his pad to cheat on his wife with her and she's kind of the mistress and she's happy to be with him, but she starts sort of liking uh Jack Lemmon, and there's a little bit of like silliness and goofiness, but it's fun. It's a really cute movie. I really enjoyed this. I wish I got to watch it with my mom. My mom has claimed to have saw it. My mom had passed away. She had claimed to see it, and then she would kept talking about how depressing it was, and I was like, are we talking about the same movie? Because I saw this movie and it was not depressing at all. It was really funny and, not sad or anything. And I think she was thinking of another movie that might have had the word apartment in it. I don't know. But this movie is so great. Commentary by film historian Joseph McBride, author of Billy Wilder, Dancing on the Edge. Also, audio commentary by film historian Bruce Black, Inside the Apartment documentary, and Magic Time, The Art of Jack Lemmon featurette. So, and theatrical trailers. So you get a lot. Well, usually with these things, especially with the 4Ks, they really try to pack it up with the 4Ks. So is this worth getting on 4K? I think so. I mean, it looked really nice on my 4K player. I don't know. Maybe some people wouldn't care and would buy the cheaper Blu-ray, and that's fine. I would suggest the Blu-ray, not a DVD. Just so you get the better quality. But I would suggest the 4K. I loved it. Thought it was great. It was well. I hadn't seen it before I bought it, and I loved it. All right, down to my last two. Ooh. All right. So I got Serpico, which I picked because this movie is one of those movies that a lot of people know. If you haven't seen it, you have at least heard of Serpico. You've seen things that sort of remind you of Serpico. It is sort of always kind of either parodied or, kind of talked about or whatever in some way or another. People always sort of reference this movie. So, and it's got the little slip in the case. And for this one, unfortunately, it doesn't, I don't think it has. If it did, I didn't like it. No, so like sometimes it does not have the reversible slip on it and everything. Most of the time it doesn't actually. I think for like a lot of these. Um, but uh, I'm happy. This is actually this look good. Um, so I'm happy. I like having the film. I like the cover. Covers the I feel like is the old cover from the video box days and stuff, the VHS days. Looks great. Sidney Lumet. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, but I think yeah, he uh directed it. It's written by Waldo Salt and Salt and Norman Wexler. Norman Wexler's a big name. I always thought of him as a producer though, so but I guess he's a writer as well. Maybe he did both. I don't know. But here's an audio commentary by Howard S. Berger, Steve Mitchell, and Nathaniel Thompson, Sidney Lumet, Cineast, New York featurette, Looking for Al Pacino featurette, Serpico from Real to Real featurette, Inside Serpico featurette, Serpico Favorite Moments featurette, and Photo Gallery with commentary by director Sidney Lumet. It's interesting. Why do they have the photo gallery has a commentary, but the movie doesn't have a commentary by Sidney Lumet? Cindy Lumet has done some great commentary tracks and stuff. So, I really had a fun time with this movie. If you haven't seen it, this is a really good cop movie. It's basically, like I said, it's a movie that people have sort of parodied or referenced in some way or another. A cop that is supposed to be bad because a lot of the guys are being a lot of cops are being bad, but he's the good cop, and it gets him into a lot of trouble. Frank Serpico. So I really liked it. I thought it was just a great movie and definitely worth having on 4K. Now, my last 4K. If you know me, like Hitchcock's my favorite director, but this guy is up there with as my probably top five now favorite directors up there, and it's Orson Welles. And it's because I've been watching a lot more Orson Welles movies, and I've been really, really, really gravitating toward him. A Touch of Evil is uh it's just an incredible film. So yeah, so once again, I don't think it has a nope. It does not have a reversible slip, but you get the movie, you get the slipcase. I mean, why not? Um, and this has how many? I think three again. Uh, oh wow. See, this I don't like. Okay. So it's got three. I like the other one that had three because you could flip it and everything. And this I feel like is gonna ruin the disc. So I don't like when you have to place the disc on this one. See, I could scratch it by accident. It's not good. I have to fix that up. All three of these are in a Ultra HD, so there are no Blu-rays in this specific one. But this is the Touch of Evil theatrical version. There's the Touch of Evil reconstructed version and the preview version. So wow. All right. So the reversion, the reconstructed version is re-edited in 1998. This definitive cut of the film is reconstructed to Orson Welles' original vision based on a detailed 58-page memo to the studio. The theatrical version, this version of the film was seen by audiences when it was released in theaters in 1958. I think that's the one I watched with my friend. We I don't know if he had seen Touch of Evil at all, but I had wanted to check it out, and so then there's the preview version, which is created prior to the theatrical version. This cut of the film incorporates some of Orson Welles' requests and was rediscovered by Universal in 1976. These special features that they have is Bringing Evil to Life, retrospective documentary featuring interviews with Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, and crew members and film historians. Evil Lost and Found, a behind the scenes look at the reconstruction of Touch of Evil and the three versions of the film. And then five audio commentaries, including one with Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, two newly recorded ones with film historians Tim Lucas and Imogen Sarah Smith. Imogen Sarah Smith. Um, wow. So this movie, I always remember anytime somebody says A Touch of Evil, I think of Ed Wood, where Orson Welles, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, is talking to Johnny Depp, playing Ed Wood, and he says, "I'm gonna be doing a movie for Universal. They want Charlton Heston to play a Mexican." Um, and right? And it's just so funny because that is one of his more famous movies. That and Citizen Kane are two of his most like influential films of all time. So having both those, this in Kino and Citizen Kane in Criterion is just perfect for me. So, and I've got other movies. I got like The Lady from Shanghai on Kino and a bunch of other films. So there you go. Well, there you go. There you have it. These are all my 10 movies I wanted to show off, the boutique labels, show you these are not my top 10 movies of all time on there. I think there were movies I probably liked better that I just didn't pick because I basically wanted to show off the differences between the stuff that they do. I think that's gonna be the thing. Is if I can't get 10, I'll do like 6 or something like that. But I'll do whatever I have, how many ever I have, and I will showcase the movies and show you kind of the differences between what you can get, from these labels. And I mean, this label right here has a lot of movies. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what you can expect. Go to kinolorber.com and check it out and tell me what you think. Are you a big fan of any of these films or whatnot? Let me know. All right. Hope you enjoy this. Have a good one. Bye.